I'm walking across the street and Busta Rhymes just grabbed my hand. And he holding my hand. Now I ain't know it was Busta at first. You know, Busta Rhymes tall. I'm sure I came up to about right here. So the first thing I noticed was this big ass flip mode chain that was blinding me. So I look at the chain and I'm like, and I look up, I'm like, oh, what's up, Busta? What's up?
They call them fun boys. They'll say we gotta have some fun boys in the section for Busta.
What about Busta Rhymes? I've definitely seen quite a few people not too happy about your story about Busta Rhymes.
Well, ain't nobody saying nothing to me.
I never heard of him.
Model dude, like a model guy. He be doing like some rapping and stuff. His name Don Benjamin. I'm out with Don Benjamin, and the club we ended up going to, Busta Rhymes in there. Well, I knew about this like in 2012. I knew about this in 2012.
Not Busta Rhymes getting exposed as a full-blown zesty legend. This is wild. And don't get it twisted, this ain't just internet gossip. This came straight out of the mouth of his own bodyguard. That man said Busta was out here making some real strange requests, specifically about having young guys hanging around in his VIP section.
I seen you talking about Busta Rhymes before.
Oh yeah.
In some of your videos.
Oh yeah. Super zest monster.
Yeah, that's what had folks raising their eyebrows. But that's just the beginning. Orlando Brown, who's always got something to say, went off and claimed Busta was one of the low-key rappers who supposedly turned him out. That alone had people shook. But then 50 Cent popped up with his usual shady behavior, tossing some slick little jabs that had everyone wondering if he knew something deeper about Busta's private life. And now, more dudes are crawling out the shadows, each with their own wild stories about Busta allegedly crossing the line and acting way out of pocket. The way these claims keep stacking up.
But if you notice, like, there's countless videos of Busta Rhymes getting mad at females for just being girls. This girl touched him one time, he go crazy, throw a drink on her and everything. See what I'm saying? Like, what? Why you getting mad at females? You go to these guys, they in the club, go to their section. It's all men in the section.
It's getting real messy out here. He was out here trying to get these dudes to party with him. But let's keep it real for a second. This ain't just about preferences. This is about those undercover industry types who act all tough in public, but behind closed doors, they're doing shady stuff and allegedly getting physical when someone calls them out. All that because they're too scared to just be real about who they are.
Let me finish. This is the father of the joint venture deals, the label deals, that's right, the production deals. That's right. This is the father. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm big up Dallas Austin because he pulled this all up. But when he did it, it was the complete shifting of the clowning. We ain't never seen it before. The same way, there's been a lot of greatness after. But he added to the floors of the skyscraper. He designed the foundation for that skyscraper.
People in the industry been giving Busta Rhymes the side eye for years. The whispers have always been there. Low voices in back rooms, private convos. But now, everything's starting to leak and the stories are getting louder by the day. So now everybody's asking, what exactly did Orlando Brown really say? And what was 50 Cent trying to hint at with all those shady jabs? More importantly, did Busta actually cross a line when it came to these young men? Time to dig in and lay it all out. Did you know that way back in 2006, Busta Rhymes was already making headlines for snapping on a male fan using a homophobic slur?
Bro, on my soul, I'm out with a group of people. At this time, I was with Don Benjamin. You familiar with him?
No, I never heard of him.
Model dude, like a model guy. He be doing like some rapping and stuff. His name Don Benjamin. I'm out with Don Benjamin, and the club we ended up going to, Busta Rhymes in there. So it was a little lawyer guy that was with us. And the little lawyer guy we was with, you know, he was a gay dude, super cool, feel me, good guy. Bro, Busta Rhymes wanted him in his section so bad. Like, what? Pulled him to the section, like through the rope, and tucked him off in the corner. So I'm looking like, well, he ain't come with us. Well, I know he was in the little group. So if I go out with somebody, like a group of people, I try to make sure everybody get there together and leave together. No, he stayed with them. He stayed in there with them, bro. For sure, bro. You ain't never heard about this before, have you? Bro, that's common knowledge, bro. Like, if you in the mix, bro, if you in the mix, like I've been in the mix, you know this.
According to the New York Post, this fan just walked up, tapped him on the shoulder, trying to show love and give props on his comeback. But instead of saying thanks, Busta flipped out. He went off on the dude and then turned to his bodyguard and said, "I hate effing F-word, man." That moment alone had people talking, and it didn't stop there. Just a year later in 2007, when Busta was asked in an interview about homophobia in hip-hop, he made his stance loud and clear. He said because of what he represents culturally, he doesn't condone homosexuality at all. And when they pushed the question even further, asking if hip-hop would ever be open to a gay rapper, Busta didn't even answer. He straight up got up and walked out the interview.
So, I'm walking, New York City, going to a club. It was Halloween weekend, everybody was out. And it was this party we was going to, me, my boy, and his friend that had came in from Detroit. And I'm walking across the street and Busta Rhymes just grabbed my hand. And he holding my hand. Now, I ain't know it was Busta at first. Busta Rhymes tall. I'm sure I came up to about right here. So the first thing I noticed was this big ass flip mode chain that was blinding me. So I look at the chain and I look up, I'm like, oh, what's up, Busta? What's up? Now he holding my hand the whole time. I'm like, what's up, man? Like, what you doing? And I was like, oh, me and my people, we about to go to this club around the corner. What's up, man? And then I noticed throughout my peripheral vision, the side eye, this big bodyguard in black. Just standing there, looking around, looked at me, still looking around. Meanwhile, Busta still got my hand in his hand.
Didn't say a word, just dipped. Now, fast forward to today, and it's looking real ironic. After all those harsh words and public outbursts, people are wondering, was Busta really just projecting the whole time? Is he just another rapper out here battling secrets and taking it out on everybody else? But let's be honest for a second, this whole thing ain't even about Busta maybe being into men. That's his personal business and nobody's judging that. The real issue is everything tied to it. The alleged self-hate, the aggression, and the claims that he's been out here putting hands on women and his own former male employees. That's where the whole situation starts looking shady and straight up hypocritical.
There's a lot of things that will make you buckle, bro. They make you buckle, bro. People done lost their families, bro. People done lost their kids and shit. A lot of stuff that happened.
Life insurance policies out on rappers. Mainly because it's more dangerous for rappers nowadays.
This is a touchy subject. I'll give you this. You can willingly turn woman and have a bag, or you can do what I'm doing. You can willingly turn trans, or you can get in trouble and go to jail and get stuck, and they do it to you forcefully because you up and you didn't know what to do.
Let's rewind it back to the early 2000s when people first started whispering about Busta's so-called preferences. And guess who had the guts to air it out? Wendy Williams. Yup, she wasn't holding back, not even a little. She started dropping bombs about what she called the homo thug lifestyle, and Busta's name was floating right in that mess. Word on the street was that Wendy had a whole list of rappers living that DL life, and she didn't blink twice about putting them on blast. She made it her mission to call out that secret double life so many in the industry were allegedly living, and Busta's name kept coming up in the mix. Wendy Williams used to have folks calling into her radio show, dropping the messiest tea you could imagine.
And he says, you know, I'm about to go in this club. You know, we got a section. You know, you can come in with me if you want. And I'm like, word, for real? Like, that's what's up. Like, he was like, yeah. I was like, well, I gotta, you know, tell my people. I was like, I come in, you know what I'm saying? He was like, okay, just let me know, you know, tell them that you coming in there to meet with me and come on up. And I was like, bet. So, of course, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes is one of my favorite artists.
Real wild, unfiltered confessions about their alleged run-ins with big-name industry dudes. And guess whose name supposedly landed on that infamous list? Busta Rhymes. One caller in particular had jaws on the floor when he said Busta punched him in the face, right after the caller claimed he got down on his knees for him. But hold up, that ain't even the wildest part. The same caller said Busta told him to stay quiet about whatever went down. And according to him, it all went down at a known NYC club, a spot that rappers were said to visit for hush-hush encounters with other men. Busta allegedly used his pull to make sure that episode vanished from the internet. But Wendy's Day One fans, they remember everything. That call left a mark. And let's not act like Wendy was only spilling on Busta. She was also one of the first to start putting Diddy's rumored DL lifestyle out there with receipts.
The big things that made its rounds all over the internet, went completely viral, was some things you had to say about Diddy.
Oh, yeah.
And there was also, shortly after that, there was an old video that was kind of going viral. And it was 50 Cent, and where he says he was at a party with Diddy. And he was mad at Diddy because Diddy offered to take him shopping. And he felt like that was only something like you would do for a female.
He's a nice guy.
And the drama hit the fan when word spread that Wendy had a photo of Diddy with another man. He wasn't having it at all. The streets say he went off behind the scenes trying to shut that whole situation down. Word is, Diddy allegedly flexed his power to get Wendy Williams fired from Hot 97 and straight up ran her out of New York. She had no choice but to pack up and restart her career down in Philly. That move wasn't just random, it was personal. Jaguar Wright recently came through with a reminder. Wendy was the first to sound the alarm on Diddy and his so-called homo thug crew in the industry. She wasn't scared to say names or spill what others only whispered about. And here's where things get even messier. Rumors been floating for years that Busta Rhymes and Diddy got super tight because they allegedly had some very specific things in common. Word on the street, they were even sharing young dudes between them. That's what folks were saying behind the scenes. Now that Diddy's knee-deep in a federal investigation, Busta's suddenly playing it cool and keeping his distance. But let's not act brand new. Those two were thick as thieves for years.
Love. We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you seen Busta in the airport too. Them from Charlotte, like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
And what's that name? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's a gusher. And
why you not having no hoes?
I'm telling you, bro, it's my dad's friends. My dad sent his best friends on me.
Who's your dad? Lucifer.
Way back in the 90s, Busta Rhymes was deep in the mix, kicking it hard with Diddy, J-Lo, Aaliyah, Hype Williams, and a whole squad of industry elites. And get this, there's photos of Busta chilling right next to Diddy and Jay-Z, all buddy-buddy like one big family. But zoom in on Diddy's face, and he's looking at Busta like he's a full-course meal. No lie, the body language was saying a lot without a single word. And fast forward, Busta was still tight with Diddy as recently as September 2023. That's just weeks before Cassie dropped her bombshell lawsuit that shook everything up. So now folks are asking, what did Busta know and how deep was he really involved? Back to what Jaguar Wright said when Wendy Williams was exposing these so-called homo thugs. It wasn't just about them being on the DL. She claimed they were using fear tactics and even violence to shut down anybody who got too close to revealing their truth. Allegedly, people were getting threatened, silenced, and worse, all to protect the secret lives of some of the industry's most powerful men.
If Busta ever try to front me, hit you with no delay, so what you saying, yo? Silly with that 9 milli, what the devil, yo? Yeah, I do his better than him. He better not play with me. I will and perform Busta Rhymes show. Cause look, man, if they try to say that if you ever thought that the Busta Rhymes was better than me, you crazy.
And let's be real, this ain't just rumors anymore. The pieces are starting to connect. Both Diddy and Busta Rhymes got a long track record of putting hands on folks, men and women alike. And it's usually the same type of situation. They're snapping on people they know won't fight back. That's the pattern. Now when it comes to Busta, his legal mess has been stacking since way back. Let's take it to 2006. Busta allegedly put hands on a man just for spitting on his car. Could have walked away, but nope. He chose violence. And that same year, prosecutors came for him again, trying to slap him with a weapons charge. According to Billboard, they said he had a machete just chilling in his car like it was no big deal. Then in 2007, Busta was right back in hot water. He got arrested again, this time for allegedly roughing up his ex-driver during a fight over unpaid money. And what happened? He pleaded guilty to both those charges and ended up with 3 years of probation. But just when it looked like things were calming down, boom, here comes 2009.
How long has it been like this known about Busta Rhymes?
Well, I knew about this like in 2012. I knew about this in 2012.
How come you think nobody else speaks up on it or says anything?
Because, bro, these people admire these people so much. They want to make sure they in the section, they at the club, they at the video shoot, they can get backstage. That matters most to them. That matters so much to people. It's crazy. Like, but if you notice, like, it's countless videos of Busta Rhymes getting mad at females for just being girls. This girl touched him one time, he go crazy, throw a drink on her and everything. See what I'm saying? Like, what? Why you getting mad at females? You go to these guys, they in the club, go to their section. It's all men in the section. That ain't weird to nobody. I'm going to the bar, sorry. Text me if it get dangerous. But there's all this club security in here, like nothing's finna happen. Nobody wanna kill you guys, bro. Like, when I get jobs from people who really got a threat on their life, I move way different. Nobody wants to kill these entertainers like that, bro. Like when I do my threat assessment, there's never an immediate threat of danger. It's never a situation that they're gonna tell me, oh, this person wants to murder me, this person wants to bring harm on me.
The New York Post spilled fresh tea. Busta had to cough up $75,000 to a fan. Why? Because Busta allegedly went off and started hurling water bottles at the guy while his bodyguard straight up punched him in the face. And for what? All because the fan tried to leave Busta's concert early. He later told the Post he wasn't even there for Busta. He came to see someone else. Turns out the fan at Busta's concert was only there for Fabulous. But when Fab never showed up, the dude stood up to leave right after Busta's set. That's when things took a turn. Busta spotted him trying to dip and wasn't having it. He reportedly told the man to sit back down and hit him with, "I'm not good for you." Then, according to the fan, Busta splashed him with 1 bottle of water, then launched 2 more. And if that wasn't enough, one of Busta's bodyguards straight up punched the guy in the face. So yeah, with that kind of behavior, it's not hard to see why Busta and Diddy were tight for so long. But aside from their explosive tempers, there's another thing they allegedly had in common: an appetite for much younger men. And it wasn't just rumors floating around. If you ask Busta's former bodyguard, Big Homie CC, he's got plenty to say. He claims Busta used to send his own crew out to hunt down young, fine dudes in the club and bring them straight to his VIP section. That's the kind of stuff Big Homie CC exposed during his interview with The Art of Dialogue. He had the internet in a full-on chokehold when he boldly called Busta a super zest monster and started spilling everything he supposedly saw behind the scenes. And according to him, this wasn't new. It's been an open secret in the industry for years. People who were in the know, especially club promoters, were already hip to Busta's so-called preferences.
I seen you talking about Busta Rhymes before
Oh yeah.
in some of your videos.
Oh yeah. Super zest monster. For sure, bro. That's my thing, bro. Like, this been common knowledge though. Like, all my promoter homies would always say, man, you know, we gotta bring some we gotta bring some, what they call them, I'm not gonna say it on here. They call them fun boys. They'll say we gotta have some fun boys in the section for Busta. Cause you know, I bodyguarded for Ghostface Killer before, you feel me? And being around him, you hear things, you feel me? I'm like, damn. And my auntie like the biggest Busta Rhymes fan, you feel me? Like, every cookout she playing it, all his little fast rapping, all of that, him and Craig Mack playing that.
Word on the street? Anytime Busta was pulling up to a party, the promoters knew exactly what to do. Their job was to have a lineup of fine young dudes ready and waiting in his VIP section to keep him entertained. That was the unspoken rule. Big homie CC didn't hold back when he exposed one night in particular that had folks shook. He said Busta saw him in the club with actor and model Don Benjamin, plus one of Don's homies, who just so happened to be a gay man. And the second Busta laid eyes on that dude, according to Big Homie, he snapped into action. He said Busta damn near lunged at the guy, pulled him right into his VIP section like he wasn't letting him out of sight. Big Homie broke it all down, said Busta was glued to this man, staying real close the whole night, making sure he didn't wander off.
So, I hear somebody say, oh, he's cute, I want him. So when I heard that, I turned around like, man, did he just say that? Man, you got all this jewelry to attract some men in here? You wild. Shocked me. But sure enough.
And that was the guy that Busta Rhymes pulled back?
He pulled him into the section. And then they walled him off like this man. I'm like, damn. And that little dude was so happy. He couldn't believe that. He was shocked.
And here's the kicker. This wasn't some one-time wild moment. According to Big Homie CC, this type of behavior was routine for Busta. Like clockwork, this was just how he moved behind the scenes. Every time Busta stepped into a club, the insiders already knew the drill. Spot the finest man in the building and escort him straight to Busta's VIP section. Because once Busta locked eyes on someone, it was a wrap. He wasn't backing off for nothing. Big Homie CC even recalled hearing Busta straight up say the dude looked cute. And once he had him in that section, he made sure the guy wasn't going anywhere. He kept him close all night like he had something to prove. Big Homie's been hip to Busta's moves for over a decade. And when people asked why no one in the industry ever exposed it, he kept it real because they all wanted to be right there with him in that same VIP section, soaking up the access and perks that came with it. But Big Homie didn't stop there. He brought up something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough: Busta's alleged history of going off on women. According to him, it's deeper than just bad temper. He said, it almost feels like Busta got some deep-rooted jealousy toward women.
We come from a very homosexual era of hip-hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle.
Just for being women. Now that's a whole different level of messy. You think it's just one bodyguard out here talking slick about Busta? Nah, fam, there's more. A whole line of dudes has stepped up, each with their own wild stories about run-ins with Busta Rhymes. Back in 2020, a social media personality named Trip Ali dropped some spicy tea on his YouTube channel, and it had people side-eyeing hard. Trip Ali claimed that Busta personally tried to holler at him in NYC while he was on his way to a Halloween party at a club. At first, Trip thought it was all love. He said Busta invited him to come kick it in his VIP section, and Trip was hyped, thinking it was just gonna be a regular lit night. But things got weird fast. Tripp's friend wasn't feeling the invite at all and called him out for even thinking about partying with Busta. That convo turned heated, blowing up into a full-blown argument right there on the spot. Tripp was so shook from the whole situation, he ended up not even going to the club anymore. The vibe got ruined, and just like that, what was supposed to be a fun night turned into straight-up drama. Tripp's night just kept spiraling. His friend straight up dipped and left him stranded in the middle of NYC. But low-key, that might have been a blessing in disguise.
Shout out to Wendy Williams, the first woman to uncover the homo thugs. That's what these down low bitches was called when Wendy first started talking about it in the 90s, the homo thug. She talking about Diddy.
And then what's the stuff that's happening to Wendy Williams? You think this is all connection too?
Of course. They've been waiting. He's been waiting. He was waiting for Kim. Remember? He was waiting. The casket was ready. She was literally
Cause who really knows what could have gone down if he had actually stepped foot into Busta's VIP section that night. Fast forward to 2021 and the rumors came flooding back. Busta was once again being accused of trying to pick up dudes. This time things got even messier when paparazzi allegedly caught him leaving a pride event with a trans woman. That alone had the internet buzzing. But wait, it gets even crazier. Another person stepped into the spotlight with his own wild claims, and guess who it was? Orlando Brown. Yup, that Orlando. He popped up again, dropping insane tea that had social media in flames. He said a whole squad of rappers had been with him, including Busta Rhymes and Diddy. Orlando didn't stop there. He name-dropped Drake, Bow Wow, and plenty more, saying they all allegedly got down together. Folks couldn't believe what they were hearing. But here's the twist. Orlando has a known history of substance use and unpredictable behavior, so some people were quick to question how much of what he said was fact versus fantasy. Still, it didn't stop the internet from going wild. At first, nobody was taking Orlando Brown seriously. When he started dropping all these jaw-dropping claims about the music industry, folks just laughed it off, wrote it off as another one of his wild rants. People brushed it under the rug like it was just Orlando being Orlando. But now, with big-name power players getting hit left and right with serious accusations, people are starting to connect the dots. All of a sudden, Orlando's stories aren't sounding so crazy anymore. Could it be he's been trying to warn us this whole time about what really goes down behind the scenes? And that leads to the bigger question. Who are these rappers he says took advantage of him? Because the names he's dropped aren't small fish. Over the past few years, Orlando's popped up in viral interviews, spilling all kinds of explosive allegations about so-called Hollywood rituals and behind-the-curtain secrets. In one of those interviews, he even hinted that there are monsters hiding in plain sight in the entertainment world. And out of nowhere, he name-dropped Diddy, strongly implying that Diddy did something to him that he's still carrying to this day. Now, with everything going on, people are finally starting to listen. Back then, everybody just laughed it off. Orlando's comments were treated like part of the never-ending joke about Diddy possibly being on the down low. Nobody took it seriously. They just chalked it up to Orlando being wild again. But now, with these serious accusations stacking up against Diddy, the vibe has shifted. People are starting to wonder, maybe Orlando wasn't just talking out the side of his neck. When those bombshell headlines about Diddy's alleged crimes dropped back in November, Cam Capone didn't waste a second. He brought Orlando back for another sit-down on his channel. This time they circled back to Orlando's viral comments from the year before and even brought up 50 Cent's wild story. Remember when 50 said Diddy tried to take him shopping? Yeah, that one. And let's just say,
she put out those pictures of the dude pulling his pants down and it looked like some gay act that was going on. He got on the phone. He said, let me tell you this. When I get back to New York City, if she's on the radio station, he's talking to a radio executive. He said the same thing he said, nobody that I deal with, nobody that I know is gonna do anything with y'all, no business at all. It ain't gonna be no artist, no nothing gonna come. He's telling people that at a radio station. When we got back to New York City, Wendy Williams was in Philly at a new station.
Wow.
That's the power he had.
Orlando's reaction to all that Diddy talk was real interesting. He didn't go off. He calmly said, he's a nice guy. real low-key, real calculated. A lot of people think Orlando's playing it smart, mixing truth with just enough chaos to keep people guessing. They believe he's using his eccentric behavior as a shield, a way to stay protected while still dropping real info in between the madness. It's like he's speaking in code, and the industry's starting to listen. On the flip side, there's a growing number of people saying, just because Orlando's had his struggles with mental health, doesn't mean everything he says should be tossed out. Some folks believe his issues might actually stem from real trauma he experienced in the industry. And maybe all this wild talk, it's his way of coping, or even trying to get justice in the only way he knows how. And let's be clear, Orlando ain't done spilling tea at all. He recently went viral again, claiming he got down with multiple men in the industry, not just Diddy, but also name-dropping Busta Rhymes and a whole lineup of other big names. Each time he speaks, it gets harder to ignore. Most people still try to brush him off when he makes claims like that, calling it nonsense or attention-seeking.
I'm Prince tonight.
But lately, in some of his more clear-headed interviews, he's actually been making a lot of sense. If you sit back and really listen to what he's saying, between the chaos and the weird moments, it starts to sound like he's been dropping real truths this whole time. And if you read between the lines, it's clear things are heating up. With all these rumors swirling heavy around Busta Rhymes, of course 50 Cent couldn't resist jumping in and stirring the pot. 50, who's about to hit the stage with Busta at the upcoming Humor and Harmony Comedy Festival, came through with some classic shade. He posted that iconic pic of Busta in his loud yellow outfit from the 1999 MTV VMAs, clearly clowning hard. But Busta wasn't about to let that slide. He clapped back with an AI-generated pic of 50 and dropped the line, "I keep telling y'all the blessings don't stop, so we ain't never gonna stop." And he wasn't done. Busta fired off another jab saying, "I thought it was Father's Day, 50 Cent, and you out here looking like this." Then he hit him with, "Don't let me find you in the mirror prepping your look for Shreveport." So yeah, on the surface, it's just them trading jokes. But fans, they're not letting Busta off that easy. A lot of people feel like he's using the jokes to dodge the heat. Folks are calling for him to stop deflecting and finally address those VIP club allegations that just won't go away. One fan even dropped a bold comment. "I've heard multiple gay stories about Busta, that he's a busty snatcher and that he physically mistreats the minis. Now that part went viral fast, and it's got people watching Busta's next move real closely." Someone even brought up an old TV show that had a gay character secretly dating a DL rapper and said, "I swear that had to be about Busta." Another person jumped in saying, "This been known for years." But what really shook people was the darker rumor that Busta's so deep in self-hate and internalized homophobia, he allegedly beats up the male escorts he hires. That's not just messy, that's disturbing. And on top of that, people are calling out his history of misogynistic behavior, saying it only adds to the toxic pattern that's been following him for years. All these stories, all these voices, it's getting harder to ignore. So now we gotta ask, what do you think about all these allegations surrounding Busta Rhymes? Do you believe there's truth to what Orlando Brown said about Diddy, Busta, and other rappers? Or do you think it's just more industry chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear what you think. And make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video if you're here for the real tea. Tap that bell so you don't miss the next one. Because trust me, it's gonna be even wilder. See you in the next video.